So I've made this video a few times and deleted it, and it's now past 6:30, and I've been doing this for an hour and a half now, trying to say the right words that are in my head and communicate clearly what I want to do. So let me just reiterate: I'm extremely thankful for the people that have made comments or checked up on me as of my last video. Um, that was not expected. Thank you. And if you made comments or you tried to help out, thank you again. I do appreciate that. Second of all, I need to start a company. I feel like a complete and total failure saying that because in my mind, I feel like companies are wasteful and they're not needed and they don't help the world, which is weird because I'm a capitalist. My problem is I am a conscientious capitalist. And so I see old school Nordstroms, willing to accept a tire from a little old lady that was returning it to the location she bought it from, but unfortunately it's a Nordstrom's now, not a tire center, or Costco with their $1.50 hot dogs and their membership stuff, which actually pays for most of their operations, and a bunch of other things. Like those type of companies are the ones that I value. Those are the type of companies that I want to emulate in the future. And yet, I also acknowledge that if I start a company too early, if I start a company without a product, it'll just become a liability. I won't be making money. It won't be able to take care of itself. And eventually, I won't even be able to pay for the registration or the upkeep or the registered agent or anything like that. So at the end of the day, it just goes away, it gets administratively dissolved, and then it's like it didn't exist, right? And so I have to be careful about this. I also have to acknowledge that I have 24 hours in my day. I am not getting enough sleep. As a result of that, I have dedicated 12 hours of my day to sleep. And I am feeling a little bit, but my speech is still slurring because I'm tired. And I feel like maybe I'm climbing the mountain slowly. So that's good. But I also have to acknowledge that I look around and I just don't see leadership. And even worse, I see people that I expect to do leadership doing the opposite. So I feel forced to start a company, whether I want to or not, just to try to be the sort of example that I wish everybody else was. And I don't know if I'll be successful, but I do know that my work loves the idea of me learning about business. And they absolutely love the idea of me doing the research and putting the effort in to try to learn more about it on my own. And because I work 100% fully remote from home, and because I work at a company that forces you to take time off because of the open PTO policy, we have an unlimited PTO policy. And at the end of the year, if you don't take at least 2 weeks off, your manager says you need to take 2 weeks off. You're taking 2 weeks off now, which is quite frankly a green flag for me. That's the sort of company I want to start myself, right? I mean, heck, if I could, I'd just mirror gravity payments and give everybody 100 grand a year, no matter what your job was. I would love to be able to do that, but I also acknowledge that that would be hard on the finances, right? And so you have to have something with extraordinary value, making extraordinary profits to be able to do that kind of good in the world. And as a conscientious capitalist that is not a communist by any means, uh, I also feel like capitalism has the strict requirement that it should attend to the market's needs in order to fill that role, put it that way. And looking back, I also acknowledge that there was a time in my life when I was extremely successful in what would otherwise be an executive role. I was a Fortune 50 executive director at one time. My current role, I don't have the director title, but I'm doing all the work of a director, is what it feels like. I'm auditing the business's support structure. I'm laying down rules for customer support and interactions with customers. I'm telling the support guy, look, this is your new job. This is what you do with your job now. I'm the developer. Like, I'm a software developer. I'm working on the product. But as part of that, I'm training my support guy to be basic QA and to do the things that you should do if you're a customer support person, to get the data from customers that allows people like me to find out what's actually wrong and get it fixed. I know that if I do this, then that by itself will help propel everything forward. In fact, we've already seen positive alignment there where I've been able to get the very minimum bottom 0.01% of customers that were costing us far more. And now, maybe they're more profitable now. Or maybe in one or two instances, they just went away because they weren't profitable. And, the end result is that I feel like I have my boss's trust a little bit. And I know that I'm an idiot compared to his knowledge, right? In business, I'm a tech guy, not a business guy. But the cool thing about this is he thinks that it's my job to tell him what to do when it comes to technology. And, it's currently my job to have him tell me what to do when it comes to business. But the cool thing about that is that I'm able to actually, you know, give my thoughts back or even design something and say, hey, what if we did this? And at that point, it goes against people, people with actual business experience look at that idea and go, that's not a bad idea. And at that point, we're off to the races, right? Everybody wants to have a job like that. They want to have the ability to grow unlimited. But you don't get those roles until you've been doing it for a while, right? And I'm in a weird role because I'm technically, an IC on paper, but I'm helping my team grow. I'm helping them understand new tools so that they can work faster. I'm identifying the bottlenecks in the business and helping the owner of the business, the CEO that I report to, deal with those bottlenecks in faster ways that are more cost economical, I guess, best way of putting it. So I am learning about business, and that's one thing too. Is like the last month or so, I feel like I know more about it than I did before, and I definitely have more confidence than I did before because it kind of feels like, in some ways, I know more about business than I'm giving myself credit for, and I have more self agency than I'm giving myself credit for. And so I have to ask myself, Dwayne, what would I do if I had half the self agency that I think I do now? Or, what if I needed this much self agency to do the thing and I have less than that? But what if I had more than that? Can I actually do that? Okay, why can't I? Why not? And those are the questions that are really valuable to me these days, at least in the last week anyway. And so maybe it's because I'm able to get a little bit more sleep. Maybe it's because I'm still fighting with Withings about their stupid sleep analyzer and the fact that it stopped working a week after I bought it. Uh, so that's another issue. But, you know, I am doing my best to figure it out. And I'm realizing that I need to stop limiting myself. So, yeah, when the time comes and I get enough paychecks, I'm going to start up a small research lab and we'll see what happens. And as part of that, I'm also going to be spending the next couple weeks looking into the things that I feel are wrong with the world in an effort for me to try to find a solution that I can build in the woods. And we'll see what happens. But from my perspective, Alexa, remind me in a month at 7:45 p.m. Make a YouTube video and update everybody. There you go. That's my contract. But I will be making videos in the short term as well. Don't worry, that is not the only one you're going to get from me. It's not going to be a one-time per month deal. However, I do feel like I need some. How can I say this? I feel like, from a social perspective, I have to ask for permission to take some time off. And instead of asking for permission, I'm telling you, I'm going to use the same unlimited PTO policy that my current work has. I'm feeling it. I need to take a week or two off, and hopefully, I'll be more focused and better later on. Who knows what'll happen? But what I do know is that for at least this next week, I am not going to make any videos. After that, I'll probably start making videos again. But keep in mind that the next week will be about me building out my self so that I'm more stable and able to build forward on everything I want to do. And this also means that if you are a member, it is still very much worth your time to stay a member because, as always, members will get things first and they will get things that I will not be making public in addition. Before that, I haven't really had any differentiation between tiers. I'm going to do that now. I'm actually going to do different videos for each tier in some cases and just make sure that people understand that there is a cost to this. My biggest problem is I feel like I have to test people's desire to be supportive. And that just sucks because I wish I could just assume that everybody wanted to help me. But unfortunately, the things I've seen show that's not the case. It actually kind of feels like there's some people out there who just don't want me to be productive, that they actively want to harm my productivity or otherwise stop me from doing things that might compete with them. So I've taken that thought and I've acknowledged it. And okay, fine. There are people out there that don't want me to be successful. I'm not going to give them joy or energy. And when it really comes down to it, I would rather have 4 different quarters than 100 pennies. So I'm going to consolidate myself and I'm going to figure out what I can get from the vending machine of life with that. And I think you'll be pleasantly surprised because I do have all these tech skills. I may not have the best communication skills, and I'm also going to be working on that. And I definitely look kind of scruffy at the moment, but hey, I'm in a wizard hat, so why not? The end result, though, is that I feel like as I explore these parts of myself, changes might happen, and you just need to accept that. And I'm hoping that my community will support me as I attempt to figure out what the future looks like and how I can best invest my time to support it. Thank you.